You know, there's a really deep contradiction in how we think about teenagers. On the one hand, we're sure they can change the world. But on the other, we don't really trust them to manage their own lives. So let's unpack this paradox. Picture this. It's 1920. A 14-year-old boy named Philo Farnsworth is out on a farm looking at the straight, parallel lines in a potato field. And suddenly, he gets an idea that will literally change everything. He imagines scanning an image, line by line, with electrons. That single thought becomes the blueprint for the all-electronic television. A world-changing idea from a 14-year-old, and yet that very same teenager is legally shut out from some of life's most fundamental decisions. This right here is the heart of the adolescent paradox.
So first, let's just establish what young people are really capable of. This isn't just theory. This is an age of incredible, measurable impact. Take a look at this number, $45.4 billion. That's the rough net worth of Michael Dell. But honestly, the number isn't even the most interesting part of the story. The real story is that back in 1984, when he was just 19 years old, he started his computer company from his university dorm room. He had a whole new vision for how to sell technology, and, well, the rest is history.
And believe me, he is not an outlier. Get this, Maya Penn started her own eco-friendly fashion company when she was only 8. At 18, Fionn Ferreira won the Google Science Fair for inventing a new way to pull tiny plastics out of water. Lisapriya Kangujam was speaking to world leaders about climate change before she was even 10 years old. And then you have sisters Caroline and Isabel Burkaw, who turned a passion for bath bombs into a business that now moves 500,000 units a month. I mean, the competence is just, it's undeniable.
So this all leads to a really crucial question, right? If teenagers can invent new technologies, build billion-dollar companies, and lead global movements, why do our laws and our social attitudes so often treat them like they're incompetent and need to be constantly restricted?
Okay, so let's explore those constraints. Let's talk about the legal and social walls that we put up in front of adolescence.
The Child Rights International Network puts it really bluntly. A lot of these age-based restrictions are just plain arbitrary. They argue that these minimum age laws often don't have a clear protective purpose. In fact, in some cases, they might actually be getting in the way of a young person's development and freedom.
And wow, the inconsistency is striking when you lay it all out. In some places, you can enlist in the military at 16 or 17, but you can't cast a vote until you're 18. Your right to make your own medical decisions? It can change dramatically from one place to another, and it's based on your age, not necessarily on your ability to understand. The UN actually suggests that evolving capacity should be the standard here, not just a fixed number.
And it's not just the legal stuff, it's the social stereotypes. I mean, we've all seen the headlines about quiet quitting, right? The narrative is that a whole generation is lazy, but the data tells a totally different story. Research from GWI suggests that Gen Z is actually incredibly pragmatic. They value a good work-life balance, sure, but they're actively looking for jobs with real growth and satisfaction. It's not about a lack of commitment at all. And this is where we really see the danger in these assumptions. This quote from the CRIN report, it's a powerful history lesson. The arguments we use today to limit young people's rights, that they lack capacity, that their judgment is flawed, these are the exact same arguments that were used to deny the vote to women and other marginalized groups in the past. It's a sobering thought.
So, how do we solve this paradox? How do we square what we see them achieve with how we treat them? Well, the answer, it turns out, lies in the new science of the adolescent brain. The key concept we need to wrap our heads around is brain plasticity. It's basically the brain's amazing ability to change, to rewire itself based on what we experience. Now, we've known for a long time that the first few years of life are a huge window for this, but it turns out there's another one.
And this brings us to the groundbreaking work of Dr. Lawrence Steinberg. He's a leading psychologist who argues that modern neuroscience shows adolescence is a second major period of brain plasticity. And what this means, he says, is that we have to stop thinking about these years as a problem to be controlled and start seeing them as a time of incredible opportunity.
For decades, the story we've been told is this one. The teenage brain is defective. The emotional gas pedal is floored, but the rational brakes in the prefrontal cortex just aren't fully developed yet. It's a recipe for disaster, right? That's the myth.
Well, the new science completely reframes this. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature. Research highlighted in Smithsonian Magazine suggests this drive for new things and exploration isn't just recklessness. It's actually a biological need,
an imperative to go out into the world and get the experience you need to become a competent adult.
And that really gets to the heart of it all. Maturity isn't a light switch that just flips on your 18th birthday. We don't magically become responsible adults overnight. It's experience that matures a person. And if we're constantly restricting their experiences, we might actually be slowing down the very development we claim we want to protect.
So, if adolescence is this critical window of opportunity, and it's all shaped by experience, the big question is, how do we unlock all that potential?
I mean, this whole perspective is a real game changer. It means the way we parent, the way we educate, the way our society is structured, it all has a direct impact on how a teenager's brain develops. So, what do we actually do with this powerful knowledge?
Well, the advice is surprisingly simple and practical. Instead of seeing teenagers as projects to manage, see them as co-creators of their own lives and relationships. Practice active listening so they actually feel heard. Understand that a parent's instinct to protect is totally normal and biological, but it has to be balanced with a teen's need to explore. And maybe most importantly, recognize that they need a sense of belonging and they need real, meaningful opportunities to get out there, gain experience, and build their own competence.
Because here's the kicker. This second window of intense brain plasticity, it doesn't stay open forever. It's a fleeting, precious, and absolutely critical period for wiring the brain for the rest of their life. The experiences they have, or the ones they don't have, during these years will have a massive impact on the person they become.
So that leaves all of us with a final, pretty urgent question. As a society, and just as individuals in the lives of young people, are we actually recognizing this age of opportunity and making the most of it? Or, by focusing only on all the risks and restrictions, are we letting this critical window close? Are we using it, or are we losing it?